Well, it is Friday, and I am back in the office. I was in Cape May County, New Jersey this morning representing a client. In addition, came back into the office, into the podcast with attorney Peter Weinbrake. Peter and I discussed his practice where he represents workers for unfair practices, specifically unpaid wages and failure to pay overtime and underpay workers for work that was done on behalf of an employer. In addition, came out with our e-update today, which went up to over 4,000 of our current and former clients in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. One of the articles that I featured in the e-update was about a college athlete arrested for reckless driving in Georgia. Now, I use these examples from the real world. Typically, I use sport examples to show the similarities and the differences between the laws in Pennsylvania and New Jersey with regard to things like gun laws, drugs, drug possession. And in this case, it was a reckless driving case. Now, many people don't understand that a lot of traffic offenses can result in jail time. Now, this particular young man was arrested for reckless driving in Georgia. He's out on bail. I would think that at this point, he's retained counsel. But this is a charge that we see frequently in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. We have to explain to clients there is a substantial difference between careless and reckless driving in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. It can result in jail. It can result in license suspensions. It can result in substantial fines. And in the state of New Jersey, it can result in surcharges. So it's a crime that you really have to understand a lot about. You should never go into court without an attorney when you're dealing with a reckless driving charge. I highlight that in the article. In addition, I just highlight the points that reckless driving and careless driving are two offenses that people use often interchangeably, and they're very, very separate offenses. They are in addition to offenses like speeding. Came out with a blog article regarding what happened to the Alabama basketball player with regards to his alleged involvement in this shooting death of this young lady. I believe that the young man who was allegedly involved in this incident really wasn't involved, and I agree with the prosecutor's decision not to charge him in anything. He did give the gun to another player who gave it to somebody else. That individual shot someone. Now, really, there was no evidence to indicate that this young man, this Brandon Miller, who's a top draft pick, allegedly was going to be a top draft pick in the NBA, knew how the gun was going to be used. And the person who owned the gun, another player, Darius Miles, owned the gun legally. So I think these are all important points. This young man, Brandon Miller, is very lucky that the case happened in a state like Alabama, where they recently changed the laws with regards to the ability to possess a gun outside of your home or place of business without a permit. Had he been in New Jersey, he would have been charged with the unlawful possession of a gun, more than likely. Same in Pennsylvania. Remember that New Jersey and Pennsylvania have very strict gun laws, but New Jersey has even harsher gun laws when it comes to the unlawful possession of a gun, and carrying a gun in New Jersey without a permit is unlawful possession and subjects a person just to that one charge to a mandatory minimum jail sentence. Actually, it's a state prison sentence. In the case in Alabama and Brandon Miller, we don't have that situation. The laws are very different. In addition, came out with a blog article regarding probation and parole violations and explaining those differences. Again, words like probation violation and parole are frequently used interchangeably. There is a substantial difference between violating parole and violating probation, and I explained that in the blog article. Finally, it is Friday. It is the weekend. I understand that people will be out and about as always. I always give my weekend advice. If you are stopped for suspicion of DUI in Pennsylvania or DWI in New Jersey, do not refuse the chemical test. It will never help your criminal case. And in fact, the only thing it will do, it will result in a mandatory license suspension and administrative suspension in that particular state, whether it be in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and the opposing state will report that to your home state. So if you're stopped in New Jersey, refuse the alcohol test, that will be reported to Pennsylvania. And if you're in Pennsylvania and refuse a breathalyzer test, that will be reported to New Jersey. Now there is no criminal charge for refusing a blood test in Pennsylvania, but they can still administratively suspend your license. So again, don't refuse the test. It'll never help your case. So once again, if you have questions, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, website, GamboneLaw.com, where all my books, my blogs, my articles are there. In addition to our podcast, I'm going to link in the link to our latest e-update. I'll also link in the podcast so you can watch them directly on our website. The podcast with Attorney Peter Weinbrake will be out later next week. It's a great episode, but all of our podcasts are featured on our website. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all very soon.